What's up, Planeswalkers? Theorix6, back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena, and today, it is time for some Muldrotha. Now, I renamed the shenanigans because, well, not much has changed. More has changed than I expected, because there weren't very many, like, bomb cards that I wanted to throw in. So, the core of the deck is still pretty much the same. I got rid of, essentially, my Fatal Pushes, and threw in 3 Stitcher Suppliers, 3 Omen Speakers, and I'm finally running Banewhip Punisher. The card is good. I should have been running it, like, all along, but I'm just now putting it in. I dropped another Gift of Paradise. I still think this card's good, but I'm trying to try out these other cards. The list runs way more 2-obs than I'd like, but then again, it is like a value-S deck, so it's not as big of a deal. But the Stitcher Supplier essentially shoves garbage into our graveyard for us to reanimate. It also is a fine blocker early on against aggro. And then Omen Speaker, again, fantastic blocker against aggro. But also it helps us with our draws. It helps us so we can actually get where we want to go. So, I mean, that's really the only big change. Everything else is functionally the same. If they're again, like I said with the other decks I'm updating with M19, if there are any cards that you think that I should be playing that I'm not, let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to look them out. I keep clicking profile like some sort of weird scrub. Now, something has been happening, and it's been very frustrating. As I mentioned, I think yesterday, maybe the day before, I don't remember. My mind is trash. In best of 3, it was like randomly kicking between games. Like it just like would drop. My internet would be fine and everything. And I thought it was just a best of 3 problem, but like it feels like I'm dropping in my normal games as well. So we have Glint-Sleeve and Banewhip, so this is fine, even though we don't have the land for Gift of Paradise. Excuse me. Going up against a silver 3-person, I believe. I think that's what that means. My opponent taking a little bit longer to decide on whether or not they want to keep. They decide to mulligan. So Wizards dropped the new player experience yesterday. In order to fix some problems. And I was hoping that one of the problems was that the quests weren't auto-generating and it like took a day. Apparently no, that's a feature. I still think it's a dumb feature. I just finished the quest earlier for the my second dual color deck, and I got the red-green kicker one, which, you know, it's fine. I'm obviously not a new player, so I'm just happy that I have these new cards, right? Like I have Varix, I have like an Allosaurus, they gave you a single Rootbound Crag, you know, so like it's still good. It's still good that I'm getting cards for free. But for both new players and veteran players alike, I think that you should just have access to the cards. What the hell is that? What are these monsters? Are those supposed to be fungi? What the heck is this? I guess that has to be like fungus, right? Alright, I'll go ahead and lead with the swamp. That's horrifying. That's scarier than the scorpion. Ooh. Alright, let's see what my opponent is on. Blue-black, sure. So, if this is blue-black control, then getting this Glint-Sleeve out early is going to be pretty good. We're going to be able to get a lot of value on it. Some other things that I noticed on the subreddit, a lot of people don't like that that they can. So there are a few people like me who wish they could use Bolas as their avatar, but there's a lot more who wish they could use the hooded figure. And there's plenty of complaints on the forum. I mean, like, obviously, like the portrait has to be a certain like resolution and whatever. But there actually, I saw a thread, and I don't remember if this is on Reddit or the subforum, or not the subforum, but the actual forum. Someone wanted to play a non-planeswalker. I think the specific person wanted to be Fibblethip, the Ravnican homunculi who has become super popular for essentially no reason, other than it's hilarious. And to an extent, I agree with that. Like, it'd be cool to have, like, some of the legendary creatures, especially from Dominaria, especially since we already have some in the game, right? We have, like, Joyra and Demon Man, Bells and Lock, Angrath. Who was paired with Angrath? Huatley. You know, like, those are in the game. Why are they not options? Like, why is it just like the M19 main cast? Like, hopefully this doesn't have like some weird portent that they're going to be like shifting the avatars as the game goes along, because that would just be stupid. Like, if I find a favorite avatar, I'm going to want to keep using that avatar. Like, period. End of discussion. So I'd like to draw a forest here, because I'd be fine deploying the Gift of Paradise. But I should have drawn by now, right? Like, you see this nonsense. Oh, I guess my opponent... And this, I mean, this is another thing, right? Like, I like that they dimmed the priority lines from being those huge, like, white things that extend all the way out to here. But now it's even less noticeable, especially if you're going against Jace or Tezzeret, since their color scheme is blue. This is so incredibly hard to see. And so, you know, I was just complaining for no reason, because my opponent is roping. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose. Okay, Stitcher's Apprentice is fine. And I will attack first. But yeah, if they, like, do some sort of stupid avatar rotation, I'm not going to be the only one who hates that. Right? It's like, oh, Ravnica comes out, and, like, we're going to get rid of all of the Planeswalkers that you have now, and instead we're going to have all of the guild leaders from Ravnica. Instead of doing that, just add the guild leaders. Hilariously enough, I expect Nicobolus to keep his promise and make Vraska the Golgari guild leader. If you have not read the story for Ixalan, do it. It's probably the best one in a while. Let's play a land. I don't think I need to play Walking Ballista on 2, but I might as well. So I'm still not sold on Stitcher Supplier. Are you actually going to counter this? The Mad Lad countered a Stitcher Supplier. He traded a 2-mana card for a 1-mana card. Sure. Sure. Like, I don't need this. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess he didn't want to waste his card, and he maybe thought that I wouldn't be playing another creature or something. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool. And I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, that type of cosmetic is something that people will love. Even if you have to, like, spend gold or gems, and frankly, they should do it like Duelist does, where, well, in Duelist you can spend essentially the dust in that system to get cosmetics, so you can use dust for either cards or cosmetics, and I think that's a great system. I'm probably going to end up killing that. I should just kill it with Bane Whip. So it'd be cool if you could use gold on cosmetics as well. But like maybe the Planeswalker are just the base cards, and well, I think I just need Omen Speaker, honestly. I'm gonna attack with both because he might decide to block, but it's a free 1 damage. But I do think I need to Omen Speaker just to make sure I hit lands, which, you know, is why Omen Speaker's in the deck. What was I saying? If they just had the Planeswalkers be the basic cosmetics, and then they offered, like, for example, for Ravnica, the guild leaders as, like, paid cosmetics, hopefully with gold. But no, they don't need to be with gold, honestly. It's hard to complain about cosmetics being no and no. It's hard to complain about cosmetics being what people are buying, because, like, do I want to do this now? Yeah, I do. Because, like, it doesn't affect the game, right? If you want to buy cosmetics, right? But I think that's a great way to monetize. Is like, hey, we have Sphinx Lady, whose name I don't remember, even though I have her in Isperia. Yeah. Obzidad, you have Niv Mizzet. Like, I know one of my best friends will absolutely want to play with Niv Mizzet as an avatar, and if Niv Mizzet does not come out, I'm certain he's going to be a little upset, because I'm fairly certain that Niv Mizzet is his favorite, if not one of his favorite characters. Just like Bolas is mine, I would love to play as Bolas. I would pay some small amount of money to play as Bolas. Right? Even if it's like the price of a pack, which I think is a little far for a cosmetic. I think it could be like half a pack, and that'd be fair. Sure. I think it's a fantastic idea for them to add a ton of avatars. And I don't know. Maybe they don't have the UI right to have the extra avatars. I don't know. But like the main avenues for cosmetics, I'm pretty sure are going to be avatars and card backs. You could say battlefields, but that I think takes more work from Wizards because there's a bunch of like 3D elements and things like that. But something that I read a little while ago that maybe some people don't know is that my opponent and I might not be on the same battlefield, right? Excuse me. I'm on the Dominaria battlefield. They could be on the Amonkhet battlefield. I think Chris Clay is the one who said that. He's the lead designer? Lead developer? I don't know. Why constantly roping me? Well, I did get another land, but it was not a land that I wanted. What can my opponent do? Pay 2 life and draw a card? Sure. What the heck does this turn into? Sacrifice a creature. Okay, so I guess this is blue-black mid-range. And I could actually Field of Ruin them at end of turn, just so I can get a forest, so I can get out Gift of Paradise. Which, I mean, I think is a reasonable play. It's unfortunate my opponent is roping me, but... So as long as my Glint-Sleeve lives, I'm going to be able to maintain card parity at least, because he can gain life and whatnot. Cool, cool. Let me hit you. Thank you. Yeah, I have no reason to use Bane Whip yet. Yeah. It's gonna Argles. Go down to 10. I mean, dude's relatively low, right? Like, if you activate Argles one more time, he'd be at 8, so he's on a 3-turn clock for me. If I played Bane Whip, I could have made it a 2-turn clock. But that would be assuming that my opponent has Stone Nothing, and I don't think that they have Stone Nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw a Chupacabra here to kill my Glint-Sleeve. But yeah, I'm fairly certain I'm just going to Field of Ruin... I guess the Aether Hub? Because that could give him potentially like a splash. Okay. Sure. So I guess it doesn't technically matter. I'd probably go for the Field of or Fetid Pools. Scarab God. Okay. So I can Bane Whip it, kill it, and just get through for more damage. And then he has to pay all of his mana again. So I think I'm fine with this. I have a Stitcher Supplier. He has a Glint-Sleeve. So yeah, I'm not too worried about what he has here. Yeah, this doesn't lose me a land. I just had to double check. This is another thing that people have complained about, is this all dark stuff. It's just dumb. Because, like, this is dark. It doesn't need to be dark. These are light and outlined, and I have no idea why. Like, I guess technically I should have... I could have said I should have waited longer, but I don't think it's going to matter. My opponent could Fatal Push one of my creatures, but... Let's see, this is why I need there to be some sort of indicator for your internet connection, because my opponent has been roping me, but they have no possible response, right? So once this gets to here, I might actually have to close my client and reopen it, which I've had to do several times already today, because for whatever reason, the game just drops. Okay, that is the game being frozen. Okay, that was strange. I need a green source. And see, now I'm roping. So from their perspective, I've probably just been roping, right? Like, the servers are having some sort of issues or something. So yeah, so my opponent could... Okay, they did not Fatal Push me, which is great. I will take action to draw a card. Now I draw an actual card. Blooming Marsh, sure. This is fine. And I can Gift of Paradise. I need to tap the Swamp first. And the reason I need to tap the Swamp first is so I know which swamp to put it on. And then I can play Omen Speaker. I can more or less guarantee that I get a land next turn. My opponent doesn't really have all that much to get back. I mean, I don't really need a Bane with this, right? Like, they can get a Stitcher Supplier, or... Wait, what? Oh, this is... I'm gonna keep Chupacabra on top. Or they can get a Glint-Sleeve, both of which I can just kill next turn. Oh my god! I will attack with this, because he cannot block it. Cool. Okay, so... next turn I'll have 1, 2, 3, 6 mana. So I can Bane Whip. So if I draw a land, which I can't do, because Chupacabra's on top, never mind. Okay, he decides to Vraska's mana. So that's fine. That means I don't have to worry about things as much. So I can yeah, I mean, I can just Chupacabra here, get him for another 2. Because then, yeah, because he didn't draw, like, another land. So he's going to have to play Scarab God again next turn if that's what he wants to do. So I'm totally fine with this series of events. Actually, it's probably better just to deploy Vraska, right? Because I -3 kill it. And then next turn I can plus. I think this is better. I could be wrong, but I want to say this is better. The reason I could be wrong is because Chupacabra can attack. So the reason for doing it the other way is I Chupacabra this turn, and then attack for 2. I Vraska's next turn, or not Vraska's, I Vraska next turn, kill it again, and get in for 4. So that would have been a total of 6. So that's the reasoning. That it's not just like black or white. So yeah, it comes back to hand. Sure. Of note, I guess this does give me an extra mana, so I could theoretically Bane Whip as well as Chupacabra. So there is that as a reason. But I think this is good because it diversifies my threats, right? Like he's at 8, I'm at 21. I don't care too much about Temple of Alcazats. They've given you such a zats. Yep, I mean, they just deployed the Scarab God, right? So, I can just Chupacabra. So I can Chupacabra this, attack them down to 6, so this won't be able to flip. And I can also play Champion of Wits. So I think what I want to do is Champion of Wits first. Yes, I think I want to Champion of Wits first. Honestly, if I want, I can destroy that before. So let's see. I don't need double Bane Whip. I'm fairly certain I don't need Filigree Familiar either. And my opponent won't be able to use Bane Whip just because of the fact that they're choked on lands right now. So let us go ahead and do this. Pay black. Target our friendly neighborhood Scarab God. Go ahead and plus her before I forget. And I can attack for 2, put him to 6. Next turn. If the thing is, if they just cast Scarab God again, they'd have 1 blocker. And I mean, they're even dead on board if they just cast Scarab God again. If they Wrath the board, that's fine. I have other cards in my hand, as well as a Vraska. If they've Vraska's Contempt, still dead on board. 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah. If they just play Scarab God, still dead on board. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what they can do to get out of this. If they tap 2 to Argles, that puts them down to 4. Cool. Yeah. You could argue that my opponent was choked on mana, but, like, they got up to 5, right? Like, 5 is typically where I want to be for the most part. Any more than that, it's kind of the great... Well, I guess in this deck specifically 6, but I don't know exactly how far blue-black midrange wants to be, but... Going up against Esper 369? I don't know if I said my opponent's name was like Dots or something. We're going first. Cool, cool. One of each, plus two different 2-drops. Seems good to me. Against aggro, this is where we're at. Against control, this is where we're at. So this is pretty good as a opening hand. It's even in the order I want it to be in. How perfect. Now, I want to make my opponent think that we're on mono black. Why? I don't know. Playing a forest doesn't necessarily show. Okay, so it looks like it's aggro. Yeah. So Omen Speaker is going to be down first. Obviously, if they have Earthshaker Kenra, it's going to be lame. But then we will have like Walking Ballista or something else. But yeah, so we first start off with Omen Speaker. This ensures we have decent draws. Death Majesty is not going to be soon enough. So on 4, we're going to want to play Vraskas. But we are going to have access to Merfolk Branchwalker. So I do think keeping the island on top is fine, because we have 2 other plays at least. So if my opponent doesn't have something to either kill Omen Speaker with, and if they're wasting a Lightning Strike on my Omen Speaker, I'm happy with that, or make it not block, then we can block Bowmat Courier pretty easily here. So he shocks it. Are you going to waste 2 cards on it? I mean, if my opponent... Yeah, so my opponent used 2 cards there. Which honestly tempts me to just Walking Ballista kill that. Right, like they're banking on this Bowmat Courier. Let's see if they're banking this Bowmat Courier. So they didn't have a turn 2 play. They might have a turn 3 play. If they tap out on turn 3, then on turn 4 I can more easily play Walking Ballista and kill that and possibly another card. So I think it is fine to just Branchwalker. And I'll tap the island just to pretend I have Fatal Push or something. Cool, I did get a swamp, so that's fantastic. I can kill a I can kill a Hazoret or a Phoenix. So things are lining up pretty well. Do they have a turn 3? They have a 1-drop. Okay. That's interesting. I think I just blocked the Bowmat Courier. Either I trade and he loses those 3 cards, or he sacks it, my Merfolk Branchwalker lives. I think I'm fine doing this, honestly. Like, taking 2 damage here isn't bad at all. So yeah, he decides to sack it. Ah! Bunch of lands. That's fair. But yeah, I mean, this means my 2/1 lives. Sure. So here, we have a couple options. I can Ballista for 2. I mean, honestly, I think the best option is Ballista for 2. And I just kill this immediately? Next turn, I'll have Scarab God access. I think it is correct to Ballista for 2. But do I kill it immediately, or do I wait? The issue with waiting is, if I let him cast a spell, and then I go to respond to it, he can cast a second spell. So I do think it's best for me just to kill this. It does technically take away a blocker of mine, but I want to guarantee that this card dies. Again, I can block here pretty easily. And even if I can't, that is technically only 2 damage. 3 or 2, depending on any other creatures they do have. But a Hazoret here is fine. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to block. I'll take 4, go to 12. That seems reasonable. Because they're at 1 card, and I don't need to... Oh, I mean, this is actually perfect, right? So we Filigree here, gain 2 life back, and play Ballista for 1. And we're looking so good, right? And honestly, I'm not sure about Stitcher Supplier. Omen Speaker is a good card. I'm very glad that I have Omen Speaker in this deck. Like, it helps out your draws, and it's a great stopper against aggro, right? Like, they had to spend 2 cards to kill it. I mean, that's also a foolish attack. I trade Filigree Familiar every time. So, let's see. Blockers. Filigree here. And this here. And the reason I do it like this is because this is more versatile. And I don't care about losing either of those. So if they play like Phoenix post-combat, I'm just gonna Vraska's it, right? Like, it's not a problem at all. And if they play nothing, I have Scarab God now. And I can even tap a Fetid Pools. The reason I want to play that is so I can start maximizing my Scarab God value. No reason to attack. I mean, this is like the highest I've stabilized against mono red in a while. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I mean, that was just a textbook victory right there. You could argue, like, oh, my opponent, like, flooded out. No, they had Bowman Courier, and they got rid of three lands for, like, actual gas. Like, I have no remorse. Excuse my drinking water. Gotta stay hydrated. Kuro Kasai Ken. I'm assuming that was from an anime. If anyone knows what anime that's from, let me know. Kuro Kasai Ken. Yeah, I have no idea. So we have turn 1 Stitchers, turn 2 Ballista, turn 3 Filigree. Obviously against aggro, this hand is great. Against control, it's not terrible, because Walking Ballista, after we deploy it, is just fine. And Familiar does recycle itself. The fact that we're going first is also helpful, so let's go ahead and Supplier. The reason Supplier is good is because, 1, it helps our strategy, and 2, it's not, like, super dead against control, as Fatal Push was, and that's what I took out of the deck for it. They might think I'm on some sort of, like, reanimate shenanigans. But the reason it's bad is because, like, it also doesn't necessarily do anything. So they're on white of some kind. If it's knights, I think I'm fine with that, just because Walking Ballista and Filigree Familiar, like I can just kill them. Oh no, these aren't X ones. Gosh, I'm so used to the First Strike Knights being X ones. Like, these Knights are actually, like, really good, because they're freaking 2/2s with First Strike. That said, I can still block with Filigree Familiar. So, unless I have the white one, in which case there are 3. Man, hopefully this is Knights. Let's see, so I have 3 different 2-drops. All of these are, like, good cards. I love this deck. It's fun. Esper, okay. Interesting. Okay, so on my turn, I'll say Familiar. Cool. I'll have access to a Chupacabra. I'll attack first. But after that, if this is control, I can just use my mana constantly to plus Walking Ballista. That's one of the best things you can do against control. I don't know what other Esper deck this could be. But yeah, I mean, like, if they Fumigate, I get at least 1 card back out of it. I get 3 cards in the bin. But let's see, my opponent has 8 cards. Okay, Anointer Priest, sure. I hope you have another land. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and kill that. He can get it back, but it does take his entire next turn. And that does assume that they have a, another land. Apologies for the stupid frame rate. My turn. I'll get through for 4, put him to 13. Cool, cool. I could also Vraska's it? Vraska seems like a good play here. However, I'm fine with them wasting their turn. Am I fine with them wasting their turn on Embalming Anointer Priest? So if we Chupacabra, they Embalm Anointer Priest. They go back up to 1. Next turn we can attack with 2/2/2s. They block. We can kill 1 with a Walking Ballista for 2. Yeah, I think it's fine to Chupacabra, because this adds to our clock. We also might want to save Vraska's for something that we are going to have a little bit more trouble dealing with. They're running black, and I'm not sure why. It could be that they're running Scarab God, and if they're running Scarab God, we want to save Vraska's Contempt for that. So yeah, attack all here. They go to 13. If they Embalm next turn, they're back up to 14. The following turn I can attack with 2/2/2s. And if he blocks, then I can Ballista up. Okay. I mean, it seems like a decent strat. Let's see if it pans out. My opponent could also just use their turn to play the Procession. Ooh, it looks like... I mean, they're playing this. It looks like they're probably... They don't have a land. Okay, I was wrong. But, it, you know, it comes in tapped. And 3 of their 4 Evolving Ones. Sure, I mean, this is even better for us. Because now we can deploy Walking Ballista before they even get a chance to do stuff. Sure, they can start treasure mapping, but, like, I don't care. I mean, this is a very strange deck. Champion of Wits. I'm going to attack first. And while I attack, I'm going to think about Champion of Wits. The problem is I like the cards in my hand. The thing is, this deck is weird already, right? So it's very possible that this deck is running, like, board wipes. Just because of its insanity. That said, they're at 7. If I have another Walking Ballista, they're functionally at 3? Or, sorry, they're functionally at 4. I think it's correct to just Ballista. Sure. And then my opponent is going to treasure map. I'm just going to do that. There we go. So, I mean, they can scry. They'll be at max 5. If they just, like, cast Scarab God, they're dead. Right? 2, 4, 6, yeah. Which is what I want. See, this is... What did I say? So, luckily, I do have this. So, I guess Ballista was better in that scenario as well. Because they're losing... they're losing 3 life. Oops, sorry. And they're also not gaining 2 life. So they are going to go back up to 7. But they would have been at much more than that. Who knows? I don't know. Let's draw a card first. Sure. Darn it, I would have preferred Liliana. Once again, should have tapped for black because I could get Stitchers, but it's fine. I got Stitchers. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of... I had no green mana. I just realized that. I might need to modify this deck a little, the mana base, to get, you know, more green mana. But, go and play this. Go and play Supplier. And dead turn. And my opponent can't scry for what it's worth. So what is in my graveyard? So I have a Muldrotha, I have one of my Lilianas. A lot of value cards. I just need to get an engine going. Or, just kill my opponent. They're at 7, right? They're on a 3-turn clock. Caracal? Sure. Sure. That's a little frustrating because it is a stop guy. But, like, as I said, like, this is such a strange deck, right? Because, like, I'm on 6 mana, so I can't actually embalm that yet. Because, yeah, as I said, like, they're running Fumigate in obviously a token deck. Like, that makes no sense. I am just going to kill that. And I will attack. I guess arguably I should have done that in combat. No, because I didn't want to get them a value block. Sure. So their idea is that they're gonna attack. They might. I mean, they might have another Caracal. Yeah. I mean, this is nonsense. So, like, I mean, I'm complaining about the Fumigate. I'm going to hide that and attack with this in the hopes that they block. Darn it. I guess I should have just not attacked. That was dumb of me. The tilt is real. It's just stupid when, like, obvious aggro decks... I shouldn't call this an aggro deck, but, like, when obvious wide creature decks play Fumigate. I mean, it worked for him. Shut up, Karn. I'm giving you a land. Have a Fumigate. And I know that could backfire. Right? Like, I could get ahead on board and then they Fumigate. But I have value in my deck. And gosh darn it, value wins above all. Do I want to chump? Yes, I do. see what gets put in. Oh my god. Oh, I'm screwed. Yeah, it was dumb of me attacking initially. I should have just not attacked. What the hell is this deck? Esper control tokens? I don't understand. You're so low on life, dude. You should just fumigate, like. Sure. Sure.
Allow me to introduce
Yep.
you to a friend of mine.
Yep. Sure, yep. No block. Oh no, I'm fairly certain I'm dead. Oh no, they got another token. This was like the fastest 180. Alright, yeah, I'm dead. Because this is what? 7? I'd have 1 mana left? Nah. Oh well. Oh yeah, I forgot. It dropped to 0 frames. There we go. So other than the last game, I think I played really well. Last game, I made some mistakes. My opponent was playing cards that I predicted they'd play based on the fact that my opponent was playing nonsense. And yes, I'm ridiculing their deck, not my opponent. But it could have been worse, I guess. Like that card. Anyway. Tomorrow is not going to be Abzan Spores. It's going to be a white-green Cats deck. It's still tokens, but I think I did a little bit of playing with Abzan Spores, and it's too inconsistent for me to continue with it. So I'm changing to Cats because I got 2 of the war leaders in draft, which there's a video for, and then I just opened the other 2. So like, obviously the world wants me to play Cats, so I'm playing Cats. Anyway, if you guys like that video, go ahead and tap the like button. Add a subscription to your mana pool and cast a comment in the comment section down below. Especially one letting me know what avatars you are looking forward to getting, what type of sleeves you're looking forward to getting, and any other types of cosmetics you think should be implemented in the game. And until next time, all will be one.